Hello! A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Knockoffs! Bloody knockoffs! Hello, Alec.
Hello, Stuart.
How you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
Good, good. Alec has come to help us with our joy of knockoffs and action figures. And oh my word, we've got some doozies for you today. Let us begin with everybody's favourite film, Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah.
It's probably not quite as bad as Attack of the Clones.
They're terrible for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's entirely fair. Well, fortunately, they have finally got the action figures they deserve. As we present Star Wars Episode 1, Yellow Man. I'm guessing, well, it's quite obviously a rip-off of an Obi-Wan Kenobi figure, but not the highest of quality.
It's uniquely troubling.
Troubling is right. It looks more like Paul O'Grady. There he is, grabbing for another radio slot.
Perhaps
and is
the first casting choice for the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Damn it, Paul O'Grady's busy. We're going to have to get Bremner. Oh, and everything was ruined. Also, his lightsaber seems to be a broom handle.
Yeah, it's very yellow, which I don't remember it being in the movie as well.
Not the first time Star Wars figures have come with yellow lightsabers incorrectly, though.
Yeah, very true.
Happened in the 70s. I don't know why. Maybe they hadn't been told what colours they'd be. But yeah, so looking at it from here, it's clearly been cast from the mould of the real figure, just very badly. And doesn't look particularly articulated.
That is, you're not going to have a lot of play value with this one, I don't think.
Unless you enjoy smashing them, because it looks quite brittle as these things go. In fact, the legs are literally just one solid piece of plastic.
The thing is, the first wave of the official Episode 1 figures were not very good likenesses of the characters to start with.
Very true.
To carbon copy those in such a way, you're never going to get a good result.
And everybody's got their new desktop wallpaper from that one, my God. And of course we have to mention the backing card, which is like a bad photocopy of an existing card, stuck on a bit of cardboard and then cut in half. Do you think they were all cut in half, or is that just like a specific one for more shelf space?
I'm wondering if this was a pound shop strategy to try and shift these when they inevitably didn't sell.
I think that is very likely. Now, looking at the back of the card, you have managed to work out which character it was. By the way, it says Queen A at the start. In fact, all the knockoff figures we have from this set are Queen Amidala ones. And they were talking figures, weren't they, with the old Comtech stuff?
God.
Yeah. Here are what she said, apparently. Now, vicar occupation. I am queer. This is my and if we do know. So there we are. That's obviously lines that were eventually cut from the film.
Dialogue-wise, though, it's not much of an improvement over what was already in the movie.
I still like it more. It has more depth to it, I feel. And nowhere does it mention sand. Well, time for another one. Golden Battle Droid. About as golden as you get, actually. It looks like a statue that's been made afterwards. It's the statue of the Iron Giant after the Iron Giant has blown up. He's just lost a lot of weight.
I like that his head is permanently to one side as well.
Are they green deco art? They have painted green on it. I wonder if it was just where the silver paint had come off, but no. I think that is actually a thing. They've painted eyes and a nose.
I don't remember them having noses.
I don't either. I don't remember them dual-wielding shit pistols either. And look at it. It looks like something somebody's knocked together out of a bit of balsa wood. Oh, God, I really want to open this one just to see if it is paint. Sod it. Let's do it. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, no, my resale value has gone through the floor. Oh, my God. Oh, no. We got some arm articulation. No leg articulation. Oh, the head does go, yes.
Bloody hell.
They haven't painted eyes, and it is just green plastic, and the paint's come off. Well, that does surprise me. Let's give him some of these appalling...
walkie-talkie.
He can call other people up who are better qualified to deal with the problem.
It's nice that they've packaged one for his mate.
He's a very sharing type. Oh, my God. Amazing. Do you know that now that's out, that almost looks acceptable. It's a very soft plastic, as one would expect, quite rubbery.
It's strangely gold as well.
It is very, very odd.
It's the same paint they use on cheap Christmas decorations, I think.
Probably from the same factory. Anyway, enough of that. time for Billy Bleach, also known as Young Anakin. He's just been to the shops, got his new pair of yellow Nikes, and wants to show them off in the playground. Although unfortunately he's got some real problems with his shoulders going on. He also looks haunted. Oh my god, I've just realised who he reminds me of. Have you ever seen Krull?
I have not. I should have done.
In Krull, there is a wizard type who can turn himself into a tiger and has a really bad haircut and looks exactly like that. That is a terrible reference for the audience. I imagine if you see the intersect from any internet audience and people who have seen Krull, the answer will be very, very low. He's got his mighty backpack, in which he stores all his sand, which he loves so much.
That's where he keeps his midichlorians.
He's got so many of them. They're overflowing. Like crisps. Midiflorians? Midifluoride. That's how he keeps his teeth white.
Oh, given the amount of shit that Walker's put out when this this film came out, I wouldn't be surprised if they did midichlorian flavour crisps.
Exactly like beef and onion. Oh my god.
Now with 20% more force.
And now, Jar Jar. He had to come in the end. Interestingly, he doesn't actually... There's a space for his staff, but he doesn't come with it.
I'd say we've been shortchanged, but it kind of goes without saying, really.
Yeah, I think that is the ultimate point of it, really. I think they just didn't trust him with it. He also looks like he's been boiled. He's got a very red colour.
Surprisingly, though, paint-wise, other than his sort of lobster-like complexion, he is the most accurate of all of them.
The eyes, particularly.
I really hope that they were banking on him being the most popular character, and that's why they put more effort into it.
That is exactly what happened, I reckon. How fucking wrong were they? Good God. What we got next there, sir? Oh, good old... Ah, yes. Today, Qui-Gon Jinn will be played by a janitor. A very, very ill janitor with a purple broom.
He's got spaniel ears.
Yeah. Oh my God. He can hear you across the galaxy. Yeah, well, the moulding's not too bad on this one, but the paint application hasn't really made it scream Liam Neeson. Looks more like a wrestler who's seen better days.
Also, the sort of khaki green tunic is a bit of a thing. And the purple lightsaber, which I was about to say is not a Star Wars thing, and then I remembered it now totally is.
Yeah,
so.
Mace Windu, purple, yeah. Mace Windu's got a purple one, as the graffiti says. The hands are just so caked with misapplied paint. I don't think he could actually fit his bloody lightsaber in it. Deary me. The joys of knockoffs. What have we got next, sir?
Good.
Oh my God.
Everybody's favourite character.
What? There's not enough weird racial stereotypes in this movie. How about a big fly? Oh my God. Yeah. See, they put so much effort into Jar Jar's eyes. They obviously had none left over for poor old Watto.
Given up by this point.
Again, he looks like he's been boiled. Looks like they've dunked his head into boiling water.
I like that his wings are an accessory. That feels like they're cheating a bit.
Oh, they're his wings. I thought they were giant tea leaves or something. Now it all makes more sense. I forgot he flies around like a horrible thing with a big swollen stomach. Oh my goggly goodness. What a terrible character. Didn't he come back wearing an awful, like, Chinese-style hat?
He's in the second one for all of about 10 seconds, I think, just to annoy people.
And he probably succeeded.
Yeah.
What's next on the agenda of Episope? I want to call it Episope 1. I feel like these are tied in with a bootleg DVD more than anything. Oh my God, this is my favourite. This is totally my favourite. Dun, 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 dun. I'll just give you a moment to drink that one in, guys. So, a cross between the weird spiky-headed character that was in Doctor Who once on the Titanic, or, as you said earlier...
The Tizer Man.
Yeah, the head off an old can of Tizer. Apparently Dark Maul with his... Sorry, I just got totally thrown off there by how grotesque the lightsaber is. It's just because the lightsaber actually looks like a lollipop.
Don't eat it. Like, really, the toxicity levels of these, I dread to think.
That is a fair point, actually. It does look like he's just come along with a load of candy to keep himself happy, waiting to be horribly cut in half in a very, very badly scripted move. Yeah, the eyes aren't that bad, I suppose. But the thing is, his facial tattoos were very important to the character.
Yeah, it was something people made a big deal out of at the time.
And now he's just kind of dunked his head in some red paint and been done with it.
Imagine if they'd gone with that for the film. Imagine if that had been the...
Just stick some latex on his head, he'll be fine. Oh, we're not painting that one every day. Just paint him red. Nobody'll note. Oh, my God. Bless him.
I also like his fetching green tunic, which doesn't quite go with the sort of Dark Lord of the Sith sort of aesthetic.
That's his Robin Hood cosplay for later. When he's finished fighting, he goes off dressed in Lincoln Greeno. Oh, my goodness. Have we got any more down there? And oh, yes, here we are. Because we didn't get enough of him earlier, it's another bloody Qui-Gon. Looking a bit more like Jesus of Nazareth this time, but with a broom handle. I think we should open him up and see what the articulation's like.
Are you sure you want to inflict this on the world?
Yes, the world needs this.
They need to know.
The truth must be out there. Oh my goodness, right. That's actually just as bad as I thought it would be. A fair bit of sort of moulding problems there. Oh my God, legs are one lump, as suspected. The arms do move. Oh, God! He's just seen himself in the mirror.
Qui-Gon with migraine action.
And,
Can he hold the lightsaber? That's the question.
well, we're about to find out. Oh my God, he kind of can. That genuinely surprises me. Oh, it's not going at this one too well. His arm... Oh, the plastic's so rubbery, at least... Oh no, look, it's totally sealed up! I'd have to try and poke it through. Hang on. There we are. That's a great line to take out of context. And... oh my God. I can't let... That's the end of my review for that figure. I'm going to be honest, not a big fan of the film, but if you do want figures, I would probably recommend the real ones, as opposed to whatever the bloody hell they were. Oh no, I've just spotted on the back, look. Horrible, horrible dimples from cheap moulding.
Although I will say his hair has been done remarkably well.
That's true, the hair has got a lot of detail in it. It's a big old moulding line, you often get those anyway.
Well, those were on the normal figure, I think.
I know what it is. The reason they look so bad, the hair's so good, they were all made by hairdressers. They couldn't get any of the plastic moulders in that day.
Hairdressers and Christmas tree decoration manufacturers.
They finally joined forces to make some Star Wars gubbins for us all to enjoy. Oh my goodness. Anyway, enough of this prequel gubbins. We want to go back to the original films, the good ones.
The real Star Wars.
The real Star Wars. A New Hope Star Wars, followed by The Empire Strikes Back. I think that's how it goes. My goodness, so this is basically Star Wars as pronounced by somebody with a mouthful of toffee.
Pretty much.
Right, to give you the story here at home, this is a 6-inch Black Series figure, which is obviously a larger scale Star Wars figure, very well articulated, very nice figures, but quite obviously not a real one. By the way, it doesn't say Star Wars, it says Star Wars, which I am never going to tire of saying. Other than that, the package looks, you know, exactly as it should, from the ones you would buy in the shops for 20 quid or whatever. And the figure looks really, really good.
Done a remarkably good job on this one.
I mean, the moulding's just right, isn't it?
For reproducing a high-end figure, they've really done a job. We'll have to get it out and see what he's actually like.
It just so happens I have here one of the genuine ones. We can put them next to each other and see if we can tell the difference. Well, the guns don't look as good, actually, to start with.
Oh yes, that's true.
Yeah.
These are matted.
Yeah, they're not as glossy as the original one. I don't know if that's really going to pick up on camera. Yes, it is. Hooray! And this one looks quite bent, but then again, most of them are anyway, so... Oh dear. It's rock hard plastic, actually, and bent, so you can't ever straighten it. Okay, that's not starting too well. But the actual figure itself... My goodness. It's slightly more matte and rubbery in general, but there's not much to it, actually. In fact, I imagine on camera they're going to look pretty much the same. And every point of articulation seems to work. Yeah. See what you think, Alec. I'm genuinely impressed with that.
His feet look a bit weird. That's the only thing that I will say about it. He's got slightly bizarre feet, our guy on there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, mind you, the original's a bit like that, actually. Ooh, do they sort of move sides? Yeah, they do.
He's not bad, though.
He's not bad at all. I wonder how much you can get these things for. I mean, it must be at least half the price, I'd have thought.
You'd have thought. It's a reasonable knockoff, though.
It's not bad at all, is it? You could quite happily display that next to that one, and most people wouldn't notice. I mean, the slightly shinier plastic works better, because, of course, Stormtroopers had very shiny armour, so... But yeah, if you saw that without having seen one of those first, you would think it was a real one. Until you read where they've put Star Wars instead of Star Wars.
It's kind of the big giveaway.
Yeah, to say the least. Oh, well, time for something that's so much of a ridiculous rip-off that you would never think it was real in a million years. We present... Space Buddy. That's not Space Buddy, that's Space Spuddy Novelty Couch Potato.
We've just got to let this one sink in for a minute.
Yeah, I think we're going to adjust the old camera there. Just to give you obviously not Chewbacca's features. I'm going with grizzled person who lives under an overpass.
It's a horrifying thing that they've created there. Remember lovable Chewbacca?
Every kid's favourite. This is his drug-addicted uncle, who probably features in the Star Wars Holiday Special somewhere. Oh my goodness. So other ones available, not Darth Vader with toes and a little tuft of hair, a cross between a stormtrooper and a television, and like an overweight predator?
Everybody's favourite Star Wars guy.
What? And on the back, is he licking that Yoda one? Oh,
he also
God.
Captain Kirk, which
Yeah.
is bizarre.
He always did wish he was in Star Wars. Now we've got the... Good God. Just going to cover that for a second while it freaks me out. So the idea of this is it holds your space snacks, rocket fuel and laser so you don't have to. Right? Comfortable neck rest for relaxing after exploring the galaxy. Well, I've got those. They're called pillows. Space Buddy is a man's best buddy. He is your mission partner, friendly and always in a good mood.
As you can clearly see.
Yeah, he looks like he's in a
That's the face of a man in a great mood.
He looks like Jessica Jones' neighbour. Good God. Right, and on the back, you've got these bits of cardboard to prove you can put your bloody energy drink in this pocket and your chocolate bar in that pocket, and laser, I think, is a remote control from looking at the others. Also, weirdly, you've got these things at the sides you could, like, put your hands in and use it as some sort of... like those things ladies have in old Russian movies to keep their hands warm. Instead of looking sophisticated, you can look like you've got your hands in a shit Chewbacca.
I'm now imagining a special George Lucas special edition of Dr. Zhivago where all of those are replaced with these.
We did the guns to walkie-talkies. We can do this, lad. Also a weird thing, the little feet are filled with beanbag stuff.
This really is a useless thing, though. I mean, as far as tat goes, this is... like, the idea that you would just keep this handy on your sofa in the event that you... I've lost the remote control, where is it? Oh, it's okay, it's in Potato Chewbacca.
This is what happens if somebody destroys the original print of Star Wars and has to paint Chewbacca in themselves.
This was Lucas's first draft for the new special edition.
Oh my God.
Upon seeing it, the American government made Disney buy Lucas.
We've got to stop him somehow.
Generation of children will be destroyed.
I can't laugh at this too much, though, because this fucking piece of shit cost me £20.
I can't believe that you spent money on
£20 from Roy's of Wroxham. But when I saw it, I thought, the internet must know. I'm going to take a hit.
We will warn them.
Yeah, I hope I get at least 20 quid ad revenue from this video, or it's going to be the biggest thing ever. But at least I've got my space buddy to keep me warm at night by glaring at me horribly.
Space
Oh,
buddy,
my God.
he will judge you.
And he will never judge you well. The only nice thing is, actually, it's got incredibly soft fur.
Well,
Have a
that's
feel.
just-
Feel my Chewbacca.
Feel my buddy. It is soft, yeah.
It's like those toy alpacas everybody always has at comic conventions. Oh dear, well that's the lot about that, except for the thing we haven't shown you yet. We have one more up our sleeve.
One more item of interest.
Ooh. Now this is very interesting. This is a very, very modern knockoff, but not sold as if it was a real thing. Well, kind of. I don't know. This is a very grey area. I'm going to have to get Alec to explain this one, but we have two reproduction original Stormtrooper figures, except one in black, so it's a Shadow Trooper or something. Presented to us by Crazy Toys.
Crazy.
So crazy. Crazy horses. And on the back there's a bit of writing and stuff. For modelers age 14 and over. I see. Is that a way of saying it's got small parts that might choke a child?
Possibly.
That's going to be my guess. I'm going to drag these out of here. We have here actually an old one from 1977 for comparison purposes. We'll bring him in. You see they've mostly gone yellow over the years, and so having a brand new fresh white one for display is very, very nice. But of course it is not real, it is a modern remodelling. And there's several things that, well, give it away. Firstly is they've got these immensely glossy reproduction guns, where you could actually blind yourself by shining light off them into your eyes. Oh, incidentally, here's the Shadow Troop of people interested, because we're going to leave him behind a bit.
It's just the same one painted black, basically.
Literally so, moulded in black and with silver eyes. There we are, that was exciting. And yeah, here's the new one. And, well, there's a couple of interesting points to it. I'll let Alec explain the two things which give it away as not being real.
Well, firstly, his arms click when you move them.
They certainly do. They only go to certain positions, whereas this is like a smooth movement. Whoop, whoop. This goes... It's got a sort of hexagonal thing in it or something, and the legs do the same. Feels very weird. It's all wobbly. Whoop, whoop. If I do it quick enough on camera, it looks like it's stop motion. Oh, it's weird. It's freaking me out. Anyway, what's the second thing, Alec?
Second one is that his hands are moulded as a separate part of plastic, so you can, with a bit of force, pull the hands out of his sockets.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they absolutely are. I'm not going to do it because I think they'll rip. But, yeah, that's interesting. Whereas the original one is very much one massive solid lump of plastic. Now, what is the story behind these? Where do they come from? Where did they go? Where did they come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
What a wonderful reference to bring in there.
We're getting all the kids' favourites in today.
But these have caused a bit of controversy in this vintage Star Wars collecting world because they are very good reproductions. Well, they look the business, and apparently somebody who has done moulds reproductions of very rare vintage Star Wars figures. Also got hold of a mould for the original Stormtrooper and decided to mass produce them, which was naughty, because a lot of people are now sticking these on fake card backs, pretending that they are original, genuine 1977 Stormtroopers, flogging them on eBay for thousands of pounds for people to discover that what they've got is not the real article at all. And they've even got the original copyright on the back.
Ooh, hang on, let's check that out on the old leg there. Yeah. Copyright GMFGI 1977.
It's General Mills who made the Kenner parent company that made the figures. So yeah, so this is a fairly accurate knockoff, and if you stuck this on a convincing card back, you'd really have no way of telling that it was not the real deal. So people are up in arms about these because they've been fooling a lot of people.
Yeah, the only difference I can see is the paint application around the eyes, but as we were saying before we recorded, that's actually a variation of the original Stormtroopers anyway, isn't it? So, that's a bit naughty, isn't it? So, I mean, mostly when they do sort of modern reproductions, they'll remove the copyright or right reproduction.
Right reproduction on them.
Yeah.
Or the other telltale sign is they take off the peg holes on the feet, which this one still has.
Yeah.
So very naughty.
I mean, it's beautifully moulded, as much better than the original, in fact, from the original mould. So, blimey. Well, what a world we live in. Well, we started off with things that would fool nobody and ended up with something that would fool the vast majority of people.
Yeah.
Well,
It's the knockoff spectrum right there.
there we are. We went right from red through to violet.
Subscribe for more.
Hello! Here's something I haven't done before, a re-review, looking at something that I've actually looked at before. Look.
broke, they were Bryant's.
Yeah.
Did you ever replace those? No. I like to do that.
Okay. I'll...
Your brother is going to be selling some of those CDs, some of those games.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to, whatever is in there that you know that you don't want him to sell it, put it aside. I just want you both to be on the same page. Yeah, I understand. But I just want him to be aware of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's all. I don't care what you sell or you don't sell.
The only other thing is that personally, with certain games, I would prefer to own a physical copy to justify why I have a version of it downloaded onto my computer.
Okay, so what you need to do, Robert,
I know.
All of those games are considered obsolete. You cannot get any charge for having them.
I'll just take a look at it and I'll let you know, okay?
Hello! It's Cheapo Toy Time! Gentleman the animator Harry Partridge has very kindly scoured the discount shops near where he lives, which is Venus or somewhere, and he's come up with a load of very horrible looking action figures for me, bless his heart. Would you like to see them? I do hope so, or you really wasted a click on the title of this video. Right, first up we have Kung Fu Fighters! Yay! Just what every boy wants. Gaudy coloured packaging, as ever, displaying the horrifying figures for our eyes. Okay, Kung Fu Fighters logo, very angry looking man shrieking and kicking at the logo, presumably he didn't want to have anything to do with it. He also appears to have broken his own big toes, which is never a good thing in a fight. For ages 3 and up, yeah, I'll bet. Right, we'll come back to the figures themselves in a moment. Just quickly nip through the packaging. Warning, blah blah blah, autofocus, thank you. Yeah, see, Sad Onion 0 to 3. Collect them all! No, I really think I won't. And backing, as ever, is just a completely plain thing. Telling you these are distributed by a company called Funtastic, which probably has to be pronounced Funtastic, I imagine. Well, that's interesting. Look at the Sad Onion. This Sad Onion's grown up a bit, look. He's got some hair. It's a teenage Sad Onion, and yet still relating to ages 0 to 3. They should have fired him by now and got a younger one. Anyway, let's see what lurks inside, if the autofocus ever catches up. There we go. Marvellous. Oh. Rip, tear, rend, destroy. Blimey. That was one of the more violent openings of anything I've ever done in a video, I think. Right. Accessories. 2 badly hewn wooden tonfas that appear to have been made in some sort of woodwork class by idiots, and inexplicably a couple of stone dumbbells. No, I have no idea. Let's have a look at the figures themselves. On the right, we have sort of deformed Bruce Lee, is the only way I can describe that. In fact, he looks a lot like the Bruce Lee from that game I featured in the iPad review, come to think of it. He's got some sort of Chinese character on his chest. Surprisingly heavy figure, appears to have a sort of fairly solid chest. And yeah, kind of looks like he's going for a grunge biker look, but failed miserably, mainly due to doing up his trousers with a curtain sash. Arms are in rubbish positions. He can do some sort of sucker punch up to the chin, twist his head a bit, and doesn't even bend over properly. Actually, that's the most he can bend his legs. Sort of an arthritic Bruce Lee, this one. I'll be there in a minute. Oh, ambulance. Marvellous. And the other hand is just in some really weird, slightly effete position that doesn't, want to hold any of the accessories particularly well. Thank you, Bruce Deformed. Who's next? Oh, yeah. Let's just get a close-up on that face, shall we? Thank you. Yes, this man appears to be suffering from a condition known as Bell's palsy, bless him, where half his face has kind of lost all its strength in the muscles. Either that or he's just pulling a very weird expression. I don't know. He also appears to be watering out of his eye there. I don't know if you can see that. In fact, this man shouldn't be in a fight at all. He should be in a hospital. This isn't a Japanese flag headband. This is a bandage that he's bleeding through, I think. He's already lost the fight before he turns up. Anyway, let's have a look at this badly proportioned freak. He's got weird legs, bad trousers, dodgy karate top, and the same kind of arm positions as Bruce Almighty over here. Yep, fantastic. Just what every boy wants. Extremely deformed people. Right, let's clear some way. And we'll see what's next. We have superhero, superpower. Wow. Don't worry, reliable performance, new type. So if you've been burned by bad performance of old superhero superpowers, don't worry. Modern and elegant. That's what we call two lies. Right, super powerful. Number blah 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 blah. Distributed by people. What's the sad onion like? I'm getting interested now. A more traditional sad onion there, but quite badly realised. Okay, it's the Power Rangers, obviously in a sort of knock-off position. We've got 5 flavours of Power Ranger: licorice, lime, blueberry, banana and raspberry. Marvellous. Let's open them up and see what they're like. Oh yeah, all identical, I think is the answer to that. Wow, cheap packaging there. Go, go, Power Rangers! Straight into the bin. Yep, the legs don't bend. The arms kind of bend. Really cheap plastic. Really cheap paint job, as you've probably noticed already. Yeah, not the most impressive of toys, but hey, you do get 5 of them. I suppose if you've got a child who's really into Power Rangers, rather than have him taken away by social services, you can keep him quiet for 5 minutes with these until he inevitably bites the arms off and chokes on them. Oh yeah, high quality, folks. Away you go. And to our last piece. The excitingly named The Legend of Dragon play set. Dun dun dun. How is The Legend of Dragon played out? By a knight riding a polar bear. Not particularly historically accurate. Again, plain backing there. Let's get straight into this one, actually. I'm quite intrigued by this. Yes, it's a knight. Couldn't afford a horse, and for some reason ended up with a polar bear. Very, very odd. I like the way his head's turned in the packaging, actually, as much as say, yeah, I'm riding a polar bear. So what? You got something to say about that, mate? Yeah? Yeah, this is a strange set. I can only assume that the polar bear was in some way a knockoff from that old The Golden Compass film that was popular a year or two ago, and it's somehow been reformed as a steed for a knight because they had loads of them to do away with because they didn't sell. I don't know, I'm completely guessing. In fact, that may not be the answer, come to think of it, because I noticed in my local Poundland they had the same knight riding an elephant. So rather than The Legend of Dragon, because, you know, there aren't any dragons being used in any way, shape or form here, I think this toy line should probably be called Knights Riding Crazy Shit. And you could have polar bears, emus, gazelles, knights riding each other. I don't know. Here he is, anyway. He's got a very ornate hat. That means he's a good knight. Man, the autofocus is slow today, I do apologise. Yes, the detailing's not too bad. He's got a big hole in his chest for no reason I can think of. And as with many cheap toys, the polar bear has really obvious screw holes in the side, meaning it looks like somebody's been blasting holes in him, the poor thing. Anyway, away, Sir Knight. Save a damsel and try not to get your polar bear to eat any penguins on the way. Okay. Right, there is a heavy price for me to pay, friends. A heavy price for Mr. Partridge sending me these. He wants to do a kind of impression of me and do a review of his own of one of the figures that he didn't send me. Okay, it's fingers in your ears time. Here we go.
Hello, Harry here with one of the figures that I couldn't quite fit into the big box of tat that I sent to the doctor. Here, straight from Planet Poundland, we have... Dun 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 dun! A big, confusing mess of grey plastic. This is Trans Robot X. Quite what a trans robot is, I don't know. I'm assuming it's a robot that likes to listen to Cher and hangs around in a lot of nightclubs. This is a new arrival, apparently. Don't know where from. Probably Singapore or somewhere like that. And the packaging is telling us to collect them. I'm guessing it means the figures and not this stolen Transformers movie artwork on the box. Naughty. Turning it over, we get to see some of the other characters available in the series, including this sort of deranged-looking fellow, and the name of this particular character is Machine Super Robot. That's quite a redundant name for a robot. Rather ironically, this is also apparently a quality-guaranteed product. I'll be the judge of that. I'm expecting it's probably going to implode the moment I take it out of the packaging. Only one way to find out. Well, here he is, Transformer Mutant Machine Robot Man, or whatever his name was. As you'd expect, the figure feels very flimsy, and I don't think he could survive being transformed into the helicopter. I quite like the big Alibaba sword, though, and, well, it doesn't look too terrible. I might see if I can put him on top of my computer or something. I wonder if he stands up. Does he? Does he fuck?
Well, started off quite well there, sort of trailed off a bit in the second half, and criminally doesn't show you the toy transforming, despite the fact that's the whole reason it exists. Dearie me, don't give up your day job as a massively successful and talented animator. I don't know. People appearing in my own videos trying to steal my shtick. But Mike Mozart doesn't have to put up with this. Hello! Hello once again for more crap knockoff toys what Harry sent me like. Let's get straight into it with Combate. Yes. Combate. Yes, this one. Rama Triton, Sri Lanka, presumably the SL stands for, have made Combate for our enjoyment. Yeah, doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot of enjoyment going on once we open the packet. Oh, proper. Look at that. They've actually got... Oh my goodness, it's like being at the Ritz Hotel. They've actually got printing on the back of the cardboard instead of a sticker, and it's all in Spanish. No conveniente para niños mayores de 36 meses por contener partes pequeñas. Oh, I don't know, my Spanish is very bad. Yeah, not good for kids less than 36 months old, because it's got small parts, which they can... ingurgite, I don't know that one, or inhale, swallow or inhale, I don't know. Don't give it to kids. Let's face it, you wouldn't give this to anyone really, would you? Right, what lurks within? Answer, quite a lot of plastic. Okay, first up, we have the man himself. Can be best described, I feel, as a zombie soldier. I mean, the paint applications are nightmarish. His skin's hanging off his face, he's an unnatural sort of radioactive colour. Terrible articulation. Well, I say that's probably better than the ones I did in the last video, but yeah, G.I. Joe has got nothing to worry about, put it that way. He also comes with what I think is supposed to be a ghillie suit of some kind to hide him from whatever enemies want to kill zombie soldiers. Yeah, they go on his head, presumably. I don't know. There we go. There's some bits for his arms. Just looks like seaweed. Look at it. In fact, more than a soldier, this does resemble a quite dead soldier who has risen from the sea, covered in seaweed, to torment the living, or possibly be an enemy for Doctor Who, I don't know. Oh, go on, let's see his weapons then. He's got a big pistol, hooray! Far too big to fit in either of his hands. Well, as I think he's zombified by now, he probably doesn't have the intelligence to shoot his gun, including the rifle that's almost as big as he is and is obviously never going to fit in his hand in a million years. Classy. Right, let's clear some room for the next tat. Away with you, Combate. Back to the grave. Next up, it's a bit more Spanish with guerreros, which I think means warriors. Some sort of manga/anime art on the back there that's probably been stolen from something, and a very, very weird looking figure. Well, again, some proper printing on the back. And, oh yes, there's a sad onion lurking in the corner there. I think this character's supposed to be based on that one, isn't it? The sort of white guy, woman, can't really tell, with green hair. But it's all gone a bit pink nightmarish. All gone a bit glam rock, if you like. Go on, let's tear her abroad and see what lurks. Ooh, a special crown. He's king of the weirdos. Yeah, really clean on the vacuum metalized accessories here. A very chrome sword, a couple of weird-shaped chrome shields with holes in, not very useful, and a chrome axe. I like the sword. Let's have a look at the sword. Yeah! fight on with my very strange articulation. Where's my crown? Yeah, nobody question my power as I stand around in ludicrous pink get-up. Armour's not staying on very well. I wonder what he looks like under it. One way to find out. I have a horrible feeling I'm going to end up breaking this, actually. No, let's not try. Oh no, hang on. It does come off. Here I am, undressing a pink action figure. That's what I do for a living. Dearie me. I'm not sure how that bit comes off, actually. Oh, his little skirt won't come off either. Oh well, you'll have to just imagine what his chest looks like. No, you won't. I've managed it. Oh no, this bit's fallen off. Oh dear, I'm not going to be able to take this back for the pound now, am I? But wait, actually, this was £1.99, wasn't it, from a place called Circle 7, which I've never heard of. Presumably purchased directly from the 7th Circle of Hell. Speaking of which, there's now an astonishing smell of really cheap plastic and rubber in the room. I think I shall blame this figure. And, yeah, he's sort of horribly mutant and disfigured by the time you've taken off his armour. Facially, apart from his head being far, far too small for his body, if the autofocus ever catches up... Go on, you know you want to. There we go. He looks a bit like a kind of mutant Steve Tyler from Aerosmith, with really, really weird eyes. Oh well, I can't really see any legitimate toy franchises being worried about this one. Oh wait, I found a piece of sellotape on the back. My goodness, his skirt is held on with sellotape? Ah, there we are. Was that really worth the trouble? I don't think so. But pleasingly, you can bend his legs into the wrong position and have him waddle around like some sort of alien. That's something, at least. It's the only joy I've got out of the figure. Right, what else have we got? Ooh, you may remember, back in the mists of time, an old action figure series, 12 inches big or so, called Max Steel. This is Max Ripoff, Special Force! Hooray! In the corner there is actually a picture of Psycho, who was one of the baddies from Max Steel. But as for what this figure is directly a rip-off of, I'm not entirely sure. It just says Special Force lots of times on the packaging, so they're quite keen on that. Let's see what the little man is actually like. Oh, crikey. Brittle, I think, is the first answer to that. Yeah. This is all a bit odd, actually. He's sort of a combat soldier type who is slowly turning into Venom from Spider-Man for some reason. The face is very worrying, actually. Look at that. He's not a happy man. Mainly because he's had his eyes scooped out and replaced with bloody billiard balls. Was that originally supposed to be light-up eyes or something? They are separate to the head, but that hasn't survived the cheapening process. Does that mean they've ripped the design and possibly the mould off from something? I have no idea. Let's give him his shooty guns. Ah, now this is interesting. The hands actually have little pegs in order to hold the gun securely. Unfortunately, the guns don't have any holes, so well done. Yeah, that's not going to go in his hand really properly. That's the best we can get. Bang, bang, bang again. And he's also got a really weird-shaped... Well, I don't know, is it a gun? Looks more like a sort of old-fashioned video camera on a stick, to be perfectly honest with you. Well, there we go. No, that's not working very well. Let's check the articulation. Weak, brittle. Feels quite dangerous, in fact, as if it's about to shatter into 1,000 extremely sharp shards and fire itself into your eyeballs. Other than that, great toy for all the family. And finally, here's one I found myself. Not exactly as amusing as the others, but horrifying instead. Alien Power! Dun, 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 dun. Well, I think it says alien power behind his head. It could say alien paw, which would be quite a good description. Save our planet, it says. Why should I save this alien's planet? He looks evil. He's got a face like a mutant bloody piranha. Oh, well, look at the back. Yeah, sad onion. That's the main thing. We've got a sad onion, we're all happy. Oh. Yeah, not really a highly articulated figure in that the legs don't bend at all. He's got a couple of hands. Sort of an evil version of Elvis from Perfect Dark, perhaps, or one of the enemies from the XCOM series, or just a really ugly child, I don't know. He's also got a gun as big as he is. Does it go in his hand? Yes. The Earth is doomed. Have a nice day. He looks like he should be fighting against the Max Steel ripoff, actually. And that right there was more fun than anyone has ever had with these figures before. One interesting point, he's got a big red button on his chest that's just painted on. Does this mean it's ripped off from a design that originally had a button that did something electronic? Who knows? And more to the point, who cares? There we are. That's what lives in discount shops, and they think your children want to play with. Come with me, leave yesterday behind, and take a giant step outside your mind. Hang on a minute, that's the monkeys! Useless bloody caterpillar, you're fired! Deary me, you can't get the staff. Yeah, right, in conclusion, well, that was a load of cheap toys that weren't very good. But it does pose one important question. Where the hell am I?
Like what? Quite.
I don't think you even had an advisory, did you?
No. It's because Northridge is structured different from how Granada is. I'd argue in some ways Northridge.
Oh, I hope this joke works. I've just carried part of my bloody sofa to a field and back for nothing. Hello! It's time for some more cheapo action figures. For some reason. Yes, people have been sending them to me and saying, you should review this because I liked looking at the last few. Bless them. I don't know why, they were horrible. And these are as horrible or even worse. First up, a very kindly chap has sent me a complete collection of bizarre wrestling figures. Want to see what they look like? If not, you'd probably better turn the video off because I'm about to shove them in front of the camera. Dun dun dun! I present to you the not quite fitting in the camera Wrestle King 6. No, versus Wrestle King 6. Yes. Were there 5 other Wrestle Kings somehow? I doubt it. But this is the newest action series, so, you know, don't worry. And remember to collections them all. I'll be sure to do that myself. A quick look at the pretty artwork. Shows several freaks involved in a bizarre goings-on with a giant golden chainsaw. We like it already. Okay, here's the wrestler. He looks a bit unwell. He's showing us his tongue. Or maybe he's licking some soup off his beard. Who can say? Interesting tattoos of a tiger trying to eat the light bulb that appears to be in his chest. Yin-yang symbol, some sort of red thing. And more graphical pictures. What have we got? I don't know what's going on there. Some sort of altercation in a hospital, hitting him with a crutch or something. Somebody recoiling in horror from a ladder. And, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. And frankly, I don't want to know. But it's Power Superior Wrestle Light Impact, so, you know, we should get some enjoyment out of it. Pleasingly, he also comes with a hat, a folding chair, and as you probably noticed earlier, a giant neon snake. Is this a reference to classic wrestler Jake the Snake Roberts? Who knows? And certainly, who cares? Okay, have a quick look at the back. What else have we got going on? More in keeping with several children plays together. Yes, I agree with this statement. I think. Battery safety. Oh dear, it's got batteries in. I suppose that's to light up the LED in his chest. Not suitable for children of 3 years. Intriguingly, the sad onion on this is very jolly. Hang on. Oh, come on, focus. Sad onions are what it's all about. Here we go. Yeah, it's got a jolly onion. He's a very happy child. I'm 0 to 3 years old and therefore don't have to play with this figure. I'm so happy. Right, let's open her up and take a look at Jake the Snake here. Right. Here's Jake. He's very, very cheap and flimsy. Astonishingly hollow and horrible. Bless his heart. What happens when you press the button in his back? Yes, he's got a red LED in his chest. Is that left over from Iron Man or something, where they were making knockoff figures of the latest action Marvel entertainment film? Suspicious. Also makes it more suspicious, actually. If you look at the arms, they're clearly from something else, because he's got weird lines on them and sort of... Are they supposed to be gloves or metal hands? Maybe the arms are from an Iron Man as well. Who knows? Yeah, the camera doesn't want to focus on his face. I can't really say I blame it, actually. That's genuinely frightening. Anyway, you sit over here for a minute, mate. You'll be all right while we look at your chair and snake. Actually, why don't you sit on your chair? There we are. This is a playset of a man who sticks his tongue out whilst looking at a strangely hollow snake. It's what every child's been asking for decades, and finally it's been provided. Marvellous. What is the tongue out for? Just keep licking the snake or something. Look, I've told you before, don't do that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But you taste of strawberries. There we are, that's the most fun we'll have out of these. Away with you, Jake the Snake Roberts, because here comes the new boy in town. Oh dear. Well, if that was Jake the Snake Roberts, this is Jake the Giant Metal Centipede Roberts. Yes, for reasons I have absolutely no understanding of. Rather than coming with a snake, he comes with a giant metal centipede. You know, I'm no expert on wrestling, or wrestling, but I'm pretty sure very few wrestlers have ever entered the ring with a giant metal centipede. Also amongst his crap is the comedy chainsaw and a crutch. Is the crutch for the centipede? He's got a lot of legs to break, quite possibly. The wrestler himself, much more of a pretty boy in the last one. The last one was a heel, this one is a face, I suppose. He's also got the WWE logo, or a close approximation anyway, and a distorted yin-yang symbol. And a silver thumb. Yeah, in fact, he's got silver paint all over his hand. Presumably he's been trying to stop the centipede from attacking him. Or maybe he just painted the centipede for his own amusement. Either way, I'm very confused. Anyway, time for Jake the Giant Tree Frog Roberts. I think we can safely assume that basically the manufacturers had a lot of animal toys left over in a box and decided to just stick one in with the wrestling figures to add perceived value and also perceived ludicrousness. This chap, a very serious expression on his face and a really crap goatee. Bizarrely, he's decided to have his tattoo not only on his skin but also on his leotard, which is slightly bizarre. Maybe he's just got that bit and has to line it all up carefully before he goes out fighting. Who knows? His crap involves a big dumbbell, neon tree frog, as previously mentioned, and some sort of horrifying golden billy club with nails in or something. That's a bit worrying. Maybe you need one of those to keep giant tree frogs in order. I don't know, and hopefully I'll never find out. Next up, we've got Mr. Piercings. Yes, he's got a scorpion tattoo, which goes with his giant metal scorpion pet. Yes, it's like a really twisted version of Pokemon, isn't it? With sort of semi-naked men running around with bizarre animals and fighting each other. We've also got small dumbbells and a gate. Maybe he's a bouncer on the side. Yeah, it looks like he might be, actually. Yep, a very serious expression on his face. Far too many piercings, funny tattoos. You're not coming in, mate. You're not on the list. Except, of course, rather than asking the list, he asks a giant metal scorpion. It's all a bit odd, really. Just have a quick look at the pictures on the back. Are these any different? Can't remember looking at them before, actually. What have we got? Yeah, some sort of horseplay, shall we say. Smacking somebody with a ladder. All sorts of tat going on at the bottom. They're the ones from the front, actually, aren't they? What's going on? Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. Yeah, mate, you should definitely grow a beard. You'd like it. I don't know if I like the feel of it. Have a feel of mine. Yeah, what do you think of that? Well, it's quite nice, actually, yeah. Somebody's taking the bin out, and somebody else is lying on the floor, presumably pretending to be ill so he doesn't have to take the bin out. Next, there's two more of these things, would you believe? This one is, interesting. The vibe here is a kind of ginger Jesus being menaced by a giant metal spider, which is a distinctly unpleasant image. It's a bit unfair, really, having sort of Jesus of Nazareth in the wrestling ring. The ultimate good guy wrestler, perhaps. I don't know. But you're not going to win against him, are you, really? In fact, you can see that, because look, he's got the belt. He's the champion. I'm the son of God. You cannot beat me at wrestling. Also, I've gone ginger for some reason. I've got a scorpion on my front, and yeah, I've got a giant metal spider and a stepladder, which I use to retrieve the giant metal spider when it's hiding in a corner of the room. And that's my life, really. Right, last one. Oh dear, he's had a bad accident, cut himself quite badly. He's absolutely plastered in red something or other. And oh man, look at this. This is a face that has seen the worries of the world. Ugh. Actually, it looks like, have you ever seen the ancient superhero comics of Fletcher Hanks? He looks like one of the bad guys, a sort of strange wrinkled creature. Mind you, you'd look like a strange wrinkled creature if you had to carry around a bizarre two-part golden dustbin and a giant silver gecko with you everywhere. Is it a gecko or is it just a normal lizard? I regret calling it a gecko now, because I don't really know what constitutes a gecko and what's a sort of normal lizard. That could be a Komodo dragon or something, for all I know. Well, there we are. We've gone from cheap wrestling figures to attempting to recognise reptiles. It's like something of a particularly insane educational channel. Oh, well, that's the end of that. But hey, the fighting's not over yet. Do you remember there was a film out called Kung Fu Panda? It was about a panda, and I believe there was kung fu involved. Yeah, I didn't see it. However, the manufacturers of cheap action figures did. I present to you Poundland Panda. Yes, he does kung fu by wearing his funny little shoes. He's got hooves, actually. Big holes in his back for the screws to go in, your sign of quality. Bizarre articulation, and very jolly and frankly slightly menacing look on his face. Yeah, there we are. So I suppose the kids see Kung Fu Panda at the cinema, and then Mum buys them one of the figures in Poundland, and nobody lives happily ever after. But wait! Because you didn't just get one figure, they came in 2 packs. And no, they didn't come with giant tree frogs. They came with another Kung Fu Panda, but this time dressed in Bruce Lee's jumpsuit from Game of Death, something which is repeatedly referenced in various media. I think didn't one of the characters in Tekken wear it. Uma Thurman does in Kill Bill Part 1. And now Kung Fu Panda does. And very dynamic and nifty he looks as well. It's also very good of him to actually paint his hands yellow in order to go along with the jumpsuit. Although looking more closely at the texture of the said jumpsuit, he's clearly just painted himself yellow. Yep, Kung Fu Panda lost his mind and died of paint poisoning. Bit of a tragic end for a children's film. Anyway, last ones. You're going to love these. He lied. These have got to be the laziest toys I've ever seen produced. I think they're based on Gundam Wing or something that looks suspiciously like Gundam Wing. And they're sort of just lumps of plastic. Hardly painted at all. And if we look around the back, you can see the arms are hollow. Yeah. Articulation is limited to waving their arms around a bit. And basically, no child is going to derive much enjoyment from this unless they're throwing it at their sister. Yeah, I think we've reached something of a nadir on the cheapo action figures. They're depressing me just looking at them. If I'm going to hurl them at the wall. Listen. One came back! When I hurl something at the wall, I want it gone. That's why I'm hurling it at the wall in the first place. Curse you, fake Gundam Wing. Anyway, that's the end of that then. Hang on, I've just realised there was an extra accessory for Tongue Man Wrestler. He came with a little hat like the Undertaker, look. There we are, marvellous. Now he looks very dapper to go out on the town. Intriguingly, the hat comes with what appears to be some sort of wrestling logo upside down. So maybe it's not a hat, maybe it's actually a shoe. Hello! Welcome to the first video of 2011. Well, my first video of 2011 anyway. New things this year, I've manoeuvred the sofa around a bit so you're looking at a slightly less tatty, filthy and ruined part of it. I've stuck a wide angle adapter on the lens so a bit more fits in shot. And as you may be able to tell, I've finally got myself a proper microphone. It's wireless and everything. And, well, if I'm not sounding clearer than I used to, then I've wasted my money like an idiot. Again. Anyway, fake action figures. Right, based off the G.I. Joe franchise, which I think is what they said in the American cartoon. I don't know, our version was slightly different. In fact, yeah, I'm going to have to do an explanation of G.I. Joe, aren't we? Right, are you sitting uncomfortably? Me too. Right, in America, they made dolls for boys. They were called G.I. Joe. It was like a soldier and he had guns and he fought people. And sometimes he had a beard and kung fu grip, and other times he... And then they made smaller versions of the figures at the same size as Star Wars figures, called them, I think, G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, and it was like a selection of military experts with different expertises, and they all fought together against the evil forces of Cobra! Cobra! And all that stuff. That's very simple, isn't it? Here's the UK take on it. Right, G.I. Joe was imported over here and bizarrely called Action Man. Then a company, I think it was Palitoy, made tiny little figures sort of based off Action Man. Here's one of them. As you can see, simple articulation, blah, 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 and the slightly odd articulation for rifle holding, so I've never seen another figure. Anyway, yeah, they had various different soldiers around the world. So, like, there was a Nazi stormtrooper Action Man, yes, really, and a Desert Rat Action Man, an American World War II soldier Action Man, all this sort of stuff. Then they span off into sort of little groups, this one being from Z-Force, the sort of land group. Most of them were just repaints and rehashes of the old figures. Then they started importing the American G.I. Joe figures and repainting them and giving them away as vehicle drivers. I don't have any of those to show you because they're very expensive. I used to have a complete set, but I just sold to pay the rent once. Pff, bloody reality. Anyway, yeah, then they started to integrate more tightly by completely throwing away their own Palitoy figures and introducing the American G.I. Joe ones under the name of Action Force. You'll notice they are far better articulated and stuff. Also, then they renamed them, I think, G.I. Joe, the Action Force, and then just gave up completely and just called them G.I. Joe over here as well. Right. Was that relevant? Probably not, but I've said it now, and you know what? Editing is hard work. So let's have a look at some horrible fake ones that I bought in Poundland. You know it's just going to be fantastic. Yes. Army playset. Hours of play. Low quality play, but play nonetheless. As you can see, for £1, you actually get an astonishing amount of stuff. I mean, there's 3 figures in there and all sorts of crazy crap. There's also a sad onion telling us not to give it to kids between 0 and 3. Please recycle this packaging. And just a bit of cardboard on the back. Right, let's see what works. God, there's even more stuff than I thought, actually. Right, we've got... Oh, my crikey. Whoa, I feel a bit ill. Look at this soldier's face. Well, you can look at his back with all the screw holes in it, if you like, but look at this. Dun, 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 dun. I see everything, everything. Yes, he's got the biggest eyes in the universe. What on earth's going on there? You know, I mean, if you're going to do whites of eyes, keep them small. He looks like an anime character who's escaped into the real world. Anyway, there's soldier number 1. He doesn't even have a helmet, bless him. Here's soldier number 2, which has got a fairly serious skin complaint, judging by the lack of anything going on there. Also, his hand is horribly deformed. Deformed. Next up, we've got one right at the back, who I can barely reach from here. Yeah, he's sort of the same man, but he's got some sunglasses and slightly different webbing. So there we are. Here's our action trio. I shall name them Gruff, Gruff 2, and Mr. Plibby. Right, what else have they got? A sort of German Shepherd dog thing that's coming apart at the seams. There we are. It's a fake German Shepherd they can hide their contraband in. That's a bit weird, and probably not intentional. They've also got a small bush, useful for any military procedure, of course. A root armament sign, just in case people didn't know they were there. Some sandbags to hide behind, that's a bit more sensible. A cool bike to burn around on. I bet they can't actually ride it, though. Let's have a go. Well, I sort of can. Of course, you probably wouldn't ride a motorbike without a hat on unless you were a big silly, or you enjoyed cranial injuries. We've got a flag. I was kind of assuming they're American soldiers, but what is that the flag of? Is it some flag they've invented and stuck a picture of a helicopter on? Yes, I think so. Let's see if the autofocus can help us. Ah, I may have noticed a problem with the wide-angle adapter. It doesn't let me focus on anything close. Never mind, let's put that back over there and pretend we saw it properly. Guns. Oh yeah, you've got to have lots of guns. And rockets. And bits of walls which probably fit together. Yeah, they can have their own really incredibly derelict house to live in. This old house ain't got no shingles. This old house ain't got no floor. Some barbed wire, no, razor wire, I think, actually. Cool, they're in business. A signpost telling you how to get to victory, which is always useful in a war situation. Something else that something's got to plug into, but I don't think we've got the thing that plugs into it. The handlebars off the bike, maybe? Oh, no. No, these are the handlebars off the bike. Oh. So what is that off? I don't know. It's a random crank. You know, like a phone-in caller on a radio show. A barrel and lots more guns. No, that's flag. Lots more guns. 1 each. So what a problem with the guns. Let's get one of them out to try and hold the gun, shall we? Unfortunately, can't, because it's clearly made for an entirely different scale and just looks ridiculous. Oh well, at least it sort of stays in his hand, that's something. Dagger, dagger, dagger. Oh well, there you go, that's what you get for £1. I must say, actually, to keep the kids quiet, that's brilliant for £1, isn't it? There's all sorts of crap there they can play about with, then get stuck in their fingers and have to go to the hospital. Marvellous. Right, so let's clear some room. Okay, that's all that cleared away, and I've also fixed the focus on the camcorder because you've really got to see the faces on these. The faces of Army Force, dun 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 dun, from Top Toys. Far nicer packaging than the last one, you'll notice, although that's not really difficult. On the minus side, things sort of move around inside. These were donated to me, I believe, and I can't remember who by because I'm an idiot, so thank you if you sent them in. I was so excited when they arrived, I've ripped the packaging all open already. Sorry, everyone. Right, anyway, let's see what lurks inside. You will notice that these are more figure-centric rather than accessory-centric like the last ones. Oh dear, there's bits falling out everywhere. This isn't a good sign. Can we find the bit that fell? Yes! It was a backpack. Right, let's meet the team, shall we? Here's that bloke, you know, the one with the face and the beard. Actually, it looks like he was trying to swallow an inkwell and came off quite badly, really. I don't quite see what's... yeah, that's slightly frightening. And why has he only got one glove? He's not bloody Michael Jackson. Next up, we have the one who's in charge, because he's got a beret. Also, there's something a bit sort of not right in the face area. Somebody's tried to draw eyes and eyebrows on, and it's just kind of turned into something deeply unpleasant that I don't really want to think about. Also, he's got green patches up his arms, meaning he's probably a zombie. But, wait for it, we've now got the grunts. I think these two figures are identical, actually, yes. You'll notice that they appear to have had their faces painted by somebody who just got a mouthful of paint, swished it around a bit, and then went on the faces of the figures. Either that, or they've got very cleverly painted balaclavas. Yeah. Right, the legs break off when you try and bend them. Quality is not something that's oozing out of these. Anyway, let's stick with the one who's still got all his legs, while the other one collects his military pension. Backpack. Does it fit in? Kind of. Yes, there we are. Kind of works the accessory there. Do the guns fit in the hands? Of course not. Don't be silly. Maybe he can use the megaphone here. Yes, he can. There we are. So they can't actually shoot people, but they can shout at them very loudly. It's all useful. Here we are. I can take this grenade with him as well. So he's got some form of self-defence, as long as he's got some sandbags. Other guns, all too big. I mean, what is that, an Uzi? An Uzi bigger than your leg? That doesn't really work, does it? But here's the real pièce de résistance. They've got themselves some kind of Alsatian as well, and bizarrely, he's a key ring. I've just noticed what all that's about. But it's the eyes on this one. You thought they were big on the soldier from the last one. Dun, 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 dun. Imagine that. I mean, if you had that on your side in a war, the enemy would just surrender immediately, wouldn't they, after taking one look at your gigantic goggle-eyed jackal. I'm Sergeant Anthony Gambello, laser infantry and electronics expert. I am Captain Grant Campbell, commander of Z-Force and expert in military strategy. Hey, you guys! Chocolate! Ruth! 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 Baby Ruth! Chocolate! And finally, we've saved kind of the best till last, another kindly donation, and probably the closest rip-off of G.I. Joe you'll ever find. Stop versus Scum! We like our acronyms. Right, apparently STOP stands for Special Tactics Operative Patrol, whereas SCUM stands for Street Coalition Urban Militia. I would guess that STOP are nice and SCUM are nasty, judging by the graphics at the back there. There's the figure, we'll come back to him. He's called Patriot. He's fully posable and has weapon included, which is always nice. Notice that the packaging is like really high class. Dangerously high class as compared to the others, in fact. Unfortunately, it's not carried through to the figure, as you may be getting the idea of there, which is a shame. Somebody worked hard on the packaging and they put a load of poop in it. Anyway, we can now read the story of Stop versus Scum. Are you sitting uncomfortably? I know I did this joke earlier. Right, after Armageddon and the collapse of civilization, the world fell into the hands of evil warlords known as Scum, Special Coalition Urban Militia. In the chaotic world, Scum prospered, infiltrating cities and leaving death, destruction and despair in their wake. Why have they still got cities if civilization has collapsed? Oh well, who cares? Let's keep going. Scum's mission is total anarchy on a global scale. City by city, they slice through urban lands with the big knife, stealing and profiting from the chaos and terror that they bring. How can you truly profit in a collapsed society? Anyway, in time, people revolted, forming their own security force, codenamed STOP, the Special Tactics Operative Patrol. STOP is tasked with freeing the world of the evil Scum forces. Oh man, I'm getting very tired of these acronyms now. That have taken the world by storm. Each member of STOP has a unique military skill and was selected to maximise damage to the enemy. Can they survive the fight for freedom? Will they rid the world of Scum? Only time will tell. The fate of the world is in your hands. Also, collect them all. And these are the characters we have. Rico and Tank. And Patriot, which is this one, presumably. And the Eviltons are Skullhawk. Blimey. Cyclops. I'll bet he's only got one eye. And Lady Lead. Or possibly Lady Lead, and she makes dog accessories. Who knows? Right, let's read the character bio for Patriot. Patrick O'Malley. Ex-Irish Army Ranger. Specialist in unconventional warfare. Well, like flicking rubber bands. Counter-terrorism and anti-insurgency. Can you truly have insurgents in a collapsed society? Who knows? Anyway, Patriot trained extensively with the US Army, Green Berets and Navy SEALs. He's a master of hand-to-hand combat and holds several advanced belts in Jiu-Jitsu and Haju Kembo. Haven't heard of that one. And just because he's holding a belt doesn't mean he's any good. Perhaps he stole them or found them in a charity shop. Patriot saw heavy action in the Armageddon Wars in the Middle East arena. After the subsequent collapse of world government, he joined forces with STOP. Patrol. He joined forces with STOP, you already said that, to help re-establish order in the streets and battle the anarchy being spearheaded by Scum. Street Coalition Urban Militia. Cut along the dotted line. Not going to happen. Interestingly, apparently STOP versus Scum is a registered trademark 2010 of Homie Shop. Interesting. Right, let's see the figure then. Rip, tear, rend. Oh yeah, it's like the world's cheapest G.I. Joe figure, funnily enough. Yeah, he's got very big eyes, again. You'd think he'd be Recon, actually, with those eyes. Also got a bit of a gammy leg, bless him, going on there. Looks like a dog when it's being scratched. Articulation, not great. Strength of figure, not great. And the gun, interestingly, is actually fixed into his hand, so that's not going anywhere. Quite nicely modelled, the gun. Can't really say for the rest of the figure. A bit barrel-chested. The articulation of the legs isn't great either. This is really quite nastily cheap, actually, although it looks kind of a bit more advanced than the figures we were looking at earlier. Not really. But anyway, he can see into people's souls, so what does he care? You go over there with your arm, mate, because I was also sent one of the bad guys. And the female one, as they're often the more interesting figures, so thanks again to Donator. It is Lady Lead. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. She's got a thing growing out of her head. Anyway, let's have a look at her biography. No, they really did try on the packaging. They even used a different font for the enemies. Oh well, what are you going to do? Oh yeah, take the piss on YouTube. Right, a ruthless hired assassin, Lady Lead, earned her bones. She wasn't born earning, she had to earn them. That's a tough upbringing. Contracting for mobsters worldwide, incredibly athletic and possessing lethal fighting skills, you know, like every female character in a film since 2002. It is wise not to underestimate her will and ability to destroy an opponent or target. Having a deep-rooted hatred and disdain for all men. She works with two of them, that's odd. Anyway, all men, Lady Lead fancies herself as an Amazon warrior. She's been reading Wonder Woman, and has dedicated her life to becoming stronger and more macho than any man. Right, so we're supposed to believe she has dedicated her life to being macho, and yet she wears a fairly revealing bra halter top thing. Yeah, because that's about as macho as you can get, isn't it? In a relentless pursuit of power and domination, Lady Lead pledged her services to Scum, Street Coalition Urban Militia, and has sworn to destroy STOP, and its tireless efforts at establishing rule of law in the streets. Yeah, if you don't want rule of law in the streets, that would be boring or something, I don't know. Let's have a look at the figure and stop motivating her was going to say motivating her analysis rather than analysing her motives. Yeah, let's try and get that the right way round. Okay, she likes pistols, apparently. So much so that she's got 2, look. Isn't she a lucky girl? No, she's not a lucky girl, because she's as flimsy as all heck. Really badly... Oh my God, what's going on with her spine, look? This goes back to that thing where she had to earn her own bones, look. She obviously didn't fit her own spine properly. And, yeah, the elephant in the room here, again, is... Well, for starters, if you look at the eyebrows and the eyes, they do appear to have been what is known in the trade as painted on far too far up and to the left. It's a shame, they've done the tattoos in her head quite nicely. And also, yeah, the tumour. In fact, it looks like she's looking at it. She seems very worried by it, this sort of gigantic growth, like a little satellite dish. It is, of course, part of the plastic that's remained on from the moulding process. It wasn't correctly removed from a sprue or something. Can we get it off? Oh, yeah! Look at that. She has survived surgery and lives to have a strangely pallid mottled chest another day. Hooray for Lady Lead! And her tile... Oh, she's collapsed. Well, I think we saw that coming, really. So, in conclusion, G.I. Joe figures may be very expensive, but they're at least 11 billion times better than whatever these are supposed to be. Hello! I'll tell you what these pound shops really like. Wrestling action figures. And we hate them, but I'm going to show them to you anyway, because they're a bit funny. Ready? There, breathe in the joy of the whole package of Wrestle Fury, the best of the best. Or indeed, as you can probably see from this distance, more like the rest of the worst. Right, zoom in on the packet like... Wrestle Fury, the best of the best. Yeah, right. Top toys. Obviously indistinguishable from bottom toys, what we can see here, but let's have a look. Yeah, there's some poor chap who got found on Google image search through some stock footage thing probably, and somebody's done some sort of crap Photoshop job sticking a tattoo over his eye. Well done, lads. Most of the rest of the packaging is taken up with an explosion, and the words, Final Smackdown Challenge. Nope, not the penultimate Smackdown Challenge, but the final one. And no sad onions. Oh, until you turn over. There's one, 0 to 3. Specially produced for Top Toys, yeah. And no way some cheap thing you got from China and repackaged. When I say repackaged, I mean just stuck a label on the back. Right, let's see the wrestler himself. Getting a bit of a sort of cyber pirate vibe from this one. He's wearing Guile's shirt from Street Fighter 2. He has giant monkey arms that look frankly terrifying. And weird boots going on. No, there's definitely a sort of... Captain Jack Partridge going on there. And his accessory is a stepladder, because the thing he does apart from wrestling is painting ceilings. Go on. Let's liberate him from his plastic prison. Oh, yep. There we are. Don't mess with him and his space pirates. Yeah, there's definitely a problem with the arms as well. There's something hideously not right. Ooh. They sort of twist a bit. It's actually quite solid feeling for a Poundland figure, so that's quite good. It appears to crack open when you bend the legs. That's less good. Also really rubbish wash on the boots for the paint-wise, but yeah, arms are the big problem there. Also, all they can kind of do is drink cups of tea and fist pump. What was that rubbish game? Army of Two. Oh well, that's the first one, but don't worry, there's plenty more. And I'm sure they can all get on with this fantastic stepladder attachment to bat each other around the face with, or whatever wrestlers use it for. Next up, we have some escapee from one of the Mad Max films, I think. He's got a big mohawk, or Mohican, depending on your preference of haircut term, and some blue trousers going on, and that's it. All I can really say about him, apart from the fact he's clearly escaped from an 80s film, and probably fought Arnold Schwarzenegger at some point and lost, is that he's obviously a rubbish wrestler, because his 2 accessories are a crutch and a plaster cast for his foot. So yeah, either he's a rubbish wrestler, or he doesn't take care when he crosses the road and repeatedly gets hit by traffic. Next up, which member of KISS is this then? I'm trying to remember their names. That's not Gene Simmons, is it? Isn't the other one Ace Frehley? I can't remember the names of any others. I can't remember if there were 3 or 4 of them. I've completely forgotten about KISS, but I don't think the people who made these toys have. There was a wrestler who had white face paint. Was he WCW called Sting or something? I'm not very good with wrestling, but it's sort of, I don't know, they looked at that and just decided to blatantly turn him into a member of rock group Kiss. There's nothing much else you can say to that. He's got a giant studded club, or possibly microphone, and a big mutant chainsaw. Just what every wrestler needs. And finally, we've gone and saved the best till last. Yes, this is what we in England call a tramp. A horrible manky beard, a bandana hiding bald head, funny goggles, and the world's most rotten teeth. And according to his t-shirt, he is called Dude Love. Yeah. By the placement of his hand, it could possibly be Dude Self-Love, actually. That's deeply unpleasant. Let's put that out of shot. Yeah, can't really imagine he's had any love since the 60s, which is probably when he bought that vest. Just like to point out also that his accessory is apparently the axle off an old car. Stay classy, Dude Love. Just for once, we're going to end a review on a high note. Whatever next, as I show you how Poundland wrestling figures should be done with Super Wrestling Movable Figures. Quick look at the packaging. Yeah, we've got an interesting array of haircuts and facial expressions, really. Particularly this chap on the end. Ah! This championship belt is incredibly hot! Yeah, my fingers! Yeah. Notice they're much smaller. Notice it's much simpler. Let's open the package and let's have a look. Rip, rend, tear. Here we go. Nasty holes in the back, but not much in the way of movement. But they're solid enough. They actually look half decent. They are, you'll notice, very strangely for a Poundland figure, in almost human proportions. And you've got 4 of them for £1. You've got Shouty Man with bad tattoo. You've got a man who seems to be very pleased that he's Mexican, because he's had it tattooed across his chest. Those dark glasses, though. Ah, I know what this is. He's not Mexican at all, but he's hiding from the police, isn't he? He's probably Irish or something, but he's written Mexican across his chest to put them off. Actually, the weirdest thing about this is that the hair is painted gold, which is very, very strange. Moving swiftly on, and we've got the twins on the end. Well, actually, they've just got similar masks. If they ever come to focus, you'll see. Yes, there we are. One's heavily tattooed, and one isn't. Guess which one's been to prison? That's right, it was the one on the right. But yeah, for £1, look, 25p each, you've got these jolly little wrestling figures. Keep the kids happy, having matches. They're not going to break, and they don't look so frightening they'll make you wake up in the middle of the night screaming and vomiting. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's the way to do it. For more action figure related fun, have a click on this annotation link, and you can see some sketches I made for Apartment Red. Hello! So, knockoff Transformers time again. More than meets the eye that's never met a copyright lawyer. And we've got probably the most effective fake packaging I've ever seen for Hero Series. Vehicle to Hero, Transmutation Warrior Thor. Yes, this actually looks like a proper licensed product. The one it's ripped off from, presumably. Well, there are a couple of giveaways. The first giveaway is the fact that it doesn't say Transformers anywhere on it, and the second giveaway is the fact that it doesn't say Marvel Comics anywhere on it, as I imagine both of those were quite heftily involved with the real product. A quick look at the packaging tells us that this Transmutation Warrior and Thor synthesize, apparently on his hammer. That's a bit odd. Ooh, and there's other ones available. We must collect them all, apparently, or a hideous fate will befall us. We've got a really rubbish Hulk, which transforms into a thing with tracks. I don't know, some sort of missile launcher, no idea. You've got Venom that turns into a car. You've got Spider-Man that turns into a bike. Iron Man that turns into an aeroplane. I mean, for crying out loud, why would Iron Man need an aeroplane? He can fly and shoot rockets anyway. And Captain, who presumably is Captain America, who transforms into a really disgustingly coloured Humvee, like some sort of very bad satire. So, fitting in nicely with a couple of recent films, the recent films being Thor and Transformers 3, in case you were wondering, we have here for ourselves the God of Thunder himself, Thor, the classic Marvel Comics character, who is, of course, named in honour of John Thor, the English actor famous for his portrayal of one of the country's most famous TV detectives, the dad from Home to Roost. Anyway, let's open it up and see if the toy inside's any good, shall we? 0 to 3 sad onions, look. That's got to be a good sign. I somehow doubt that the internals are going to be quite as good as the packaging, but you never know. Here we are, his mighty Techno Hammer. What was that called? Is Mjolnir, is that here? Oh, I don't know. Magic Hammer Jeff, I'm going to call it. Well, yeah, feels a bit flimsy and cheap plasticky, unsurprisingly. Also, his feet have disappeared into his bell bottoms in a sort of 70s nightmare. Oh, something's just fallen off. That's probably not good. Come out. Ah, there we are, look. And again. Nope, it's almost impossible to grab hold of these. Yes! There we oh dear, something's come off. Yeah, I kind of think that the original version of this toy probably wouldn't fall to bits quite as easily. Can I get that back on, or is that gone for a burden? Nope, we're going to have to take that off and pretend it's on, I think. Oh good, this has started off really well, hasn't it, everybody? Now, this has dropped off from here somewhere. Let's pop that back on. Oh. Somewhere there is a Hasbro executive weeping. The original toy, I think, is from the Marvel Crossovers line, where, strangely enough, they just made Transformers of Marvel characters. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. They're a company. They did it because they thought they could make money out of it, of course. That's not exactly a stretch of the imagination. Go on then, hold your hammer, Thor. Can't do it. You're not worthy. No, it's sort of staying in his hand. Well, it might form an interesting piece on somebody's shelf if they collect absolute toot that falls to bits at the slightest impact. They made this look like these could turn to a sort of cape thing on the back of the packet, but I can't quite work out how to do that without snapping it. And frankly, I don't think this is going to survive the transformation to aeroplane, but shall we give it a go anyway? Have we got instructions at all? No. Well, that's cleared that one up then. Marvellous. Well, the head moves. Oh, look. You can move his helmet fins, just like a real Thor. Come on. How does this work? That looks like the tail or something. This must twiddle around the back. Oh, I see, right. Fold his feet into there. These must fold down. Hang on, where's a good picture of the aeroplane? Oh! That's no good, it's covered in a silly sticker. Oh well, that's all I've got to go from. This is going to shatter into like a million pieces, isn't it? How does this go? Oh, I'm stuck already. Right, tell you what, I'll transform this and stick it back together with glue, and I'll see you in a minute. Mission failure. Let's clear this up a bit. As you can see, it didn't respond very well to trying to be turned into the aeroplane, which I believe is an A-10 Thunderbolt. Or at least it would be an A-10 Thunderbolt, but, yeah, it basically snaps whenever you touch any part of it, leaving a sort of wreckage of dead Thor with various limbs and hammers floating around, dearie me. I suppose that's why he turns the aeroplane, of course, because it's called a Thunderbolt, you see, and he's the god of thunder, ha ha ha. Don't ask me whether Hulk turns into a missile launcher or anything like that. That doesn't seem to fit at all. I mean, Spider-Man motorbike. Who buys this stuff? Answer, probably quite a lot of people, because they're making cheap rip-off versions. Anyway, that was absolutely rubbish. Aren't you lucky I'm here to point that out to you? You'd have thought it was great, if not, wouldn't you? Let's have a look at a more direct, old-fashioned rip-off. Sadly, not with the excellent packaging. Alien Terminators! Alien Terminators. 6-in-1 robot changes. 2 assorted, collect them both. Must collect. As you may know, if you know anything about Transformers, these are the Constructicons, evil Decepticon blokes who turn into construction vehicles for reasons I have no understanding of, and then all form a giant robot together, because it's cheaper than going to a nightclub. Here's the instructions. Look, there's also instructions for another one. The other one, apparently, I think they are the Combaticons, who made sort of military vehicles. So presumably they have the same packaging for both. 2 assorted, collect them both. Yeah, sounds like it. Warning, they are out there, watching you. Nope, pretty sure that's one of Rupert Murdoch's newspapers, not Alien Terminators. Anyway, let's open it up and see what occurs. Well, it hasn't fallen to bits yet. That's got to be a first. Ooh, there's little guns in the packaging. Now, I have actually seen this set of Transformers before in real life, as in the real ones. I actually had them when I was young. When I was 8 years old, we went to California in America and stayed with my aunt there. And I bought a set of these, and it was the coolest toy ever, except for all the others. And it looked suspiciously like this, but I'll tell you what, it looked bigger. I don't know if it was because my hands were smaller back then, but this does seem slightly miniaturised to me. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. Wouldn't be the first time. Right, this is Devastator, so called because he's got a gun in his ear. You don't mess with a man with a gun in his ear. And look, he's got a giant other pistol for shooting the good guys with, and all that kind of stuff. Does this bit come off? Yeah, I remember. Let's break him up into the constituent parts, shall we? Which doesn't look like it's going to be a particularly difficult task, due to the fact that, yeah, a little bit on the cheap side again. Right, put the connecting bits over there. His groin shield can go over there as well. Ugh, not a phrase I relish saying. Oh, do these ping off? They did in the original. Oh, it's got the button to fire them, like these are spring. Oh, yay! Suddenly everything's all right again. Alright, off it comes. Ah, ping, hey, that one worked better. Okay, gut shield can come off, and his silly head. I mean, why'd you have a gun in your ear? What? That's not going to help you, is it? Devastator attack. What? What? Speak up. Gun in my ear. Ridiculous. Alright. And this. Look, it's a crane digger thing with a gun stuck on the top. All comes across as a bit weird, frankly. Right, can I remember how they transform? Probably not. This one's sort of, yeah, stretched out. And you, no, this is slightly different. I think you pulled those out on the original, but they just sort of twist around here. Oh, well, it's a learning process. Oh my god, that's its head? Hang on, give it a few weeks, it might focus. How is that a head? It's just kind of two silver bits. Oh dear, these were at the back of the queue when the Transformers are being made, clearly. Go on then. There he is, with his erect. Moving swiftly on. This one. Oh no, this is the one where the tracks come out. Yeah. Brrr. I am off to do the constructing, but not really. I'm an evil robot from the planet Cybertron. Yes, that was it. Wish I could remember that quicker. Yeah, I remember this one. There's his little head. Does it actually have anything that looks like a face? No, it's just got a sort of horrible faceless mask thing going on. Perhaps their rip-off moulds didn't have the faces in properly. Or perhaps they all look like that, I can't remember. He looks a bit sort of ill and thin, actually, doesn't he? He's got some sort of horrible Transformers wasting disease. Anyway, watch him fly. Amazing. Okay, this one is a dumper truck. Again, you may have worked that out on your own. How does this transform? Yeah. Quite easily is the answer. Yeah, he had short stubby arms on this, I remember that. And where is the noggin? Oh, that kind of looks like a medieval knight or something, that face, as opposed to looks like nothing like all the others, freakish mutants that they are. Also, his legs are pathetic. Go away, we hate you. No, this one is obviously the cement mixer type device. It sticks in my mind because all these have individual names. Can't remember what they are, except for this one, which was called Mixmaster. Yeah, weren't trying very hard in the naming office that day. How does this go? Oh, that's easy enough, look. Hello. Oh, he's got something resembling a face. It's amazing! And world's first. How do you... So what? There'll be some way you can transform this so it looks a bit like some legs. Can't remember how... No, that's going to snap it. Hang on. Oh no, I think it does come right like that. No, it doesn't. I am about to break it. Oh well. I'll just have to stand like that, semi-transformed. Either that, or crap design, or crap rip-off. Either way, there's a lot of crap going on. Okay, it's another digger for digging bigger things. Sorry, must stop having fun and transform. Yep, that's an easy one. Pop-up head. kind of looks like a head, that one. Therefore, he must be the leader. He's the only one who could afford a real head. Right, off we go. Have fun. And finally, it's the crane. Ah, there we are. So, need any craning doing? What? No? You don't want any craning done? Apparently you're at war with another set of giant transforming robots and don't really care for construction work. Oh well, looks like I crashed the wrong party. Anyway, that should be easy enough. Yay, there we go. Oh, that didn't sound like a good snap. I'm not sure there is such a thing as a good snap, but there we go. Even the crane extends a bit. Hours of fun. There he is. We shall call him Jeff Bob, although his real name is probably something like Crane Bloke or Smashy Man or something equally crap. There we go. I'm still sort of convinced that back in the day they were bigger. And I'll tell you another little bit of evidence I have for my crazy conspiracy theory. This set of knockoff Constructicons, which are made in a non-realistic colour, but are also considerably larger. Let's grab one of them. Blah, blah, blah. Where's the crane one? Out of reach is the answer to that. Oh, no, here he is. Right, let's transform this back. And... yeah, look. Smaller. See, I wasn't mental after all. Well, I probably am, just not to do with this. So oddly, they've kind of reproduced the moulds, but made all of them smaller when they produced the knockoffs. Very strange. This does beg the question, of course, what do all these look like transformed into the giant robot? Tell you what, you look at this picture of a nail stuck in an old wall, and I'll do it. Sorry to interrupt your nail viewing early, but I just wanted you to see the two faces together. Obviously the smaller original on the right and the newer yellow one on the left. Clearly they have remoulded the faces, as we can see by the way that the one on the left is a typical Transformers Hardman type thing, and the one on your right, I don't really know what's going on. He's got a moustache and he's smirking. I can only think that gun has penetrated his brain in some way. Anyway... ah, great nail that one, isn't it? Definitely in my top 5 ever. Anyway, look at this behemoth, or this devastator indeed. Huge, giant, deadly thing who's not very good. Yeah, the build quality of all this isn't a patch on the ones we were looking at earlier. It may be a more realistic size, but tragically, yeah, it's a load of old crap, to be honest. Bits breaking off when I was trying to build it. Obviously not as bad as Thor, but still not great. No spring-loaded fists or anything. And overall, not as exciting a toy in general. But still pretty good, I suppose, depending how much it cost. Actually, I think it did have a price tag on it. Let me have a look. Yes, here we go. This was bought in America and donated to me, and it was $6.99 for the Quick Change Vehicle Set Robot Fighter Construction Changeable Robots. Deep breath. Interestingly, I've just spotted that the Thor one was apparently bought from a place called Dollar Store, which is odd, because I think it was donated to me by somebody in Sweden. So I don't know what that 40 means. 40 smile. What, is that a price? Is it a nothing? I'm very confused. And he's fallen over. It's just not going to get any better. Anyway, that's it for today, I'm afraid. I don't actually have the nifty-looking Combaticons one. No, wait, I'm lying. Here it is. Let's have a look at that, shall we? You go over there carefully now. Wouldn't want you to break or anything. Right, that's a big gold and other coloured thing. Presumably it's the proper colours. Oh yeah, it seems to be with the artwork, as the Constructicons were. Yeah, still not spotting any official Transformers holograms. That's the way you know they're not a rip-off, kids. I think they used to say on the adverts. I can't really remember. Anyway, let's liberate him from his horrifying Energon prison. Oh god, there's all sorts of fins and guns and goodness knows what in here. Yep, we've got green thing. Gun, walkie-talkie, no idea. Ah, now that's a gun, I think. Oops, better bring this closer actually, I don't want to get them all mixed up, or I won't know what I'm doing. That'd make a change, wouldn't it? And some more guns down there. He's quite big on the guns, this one, probably because he's made out of military vehicles. And his legs come off. Yeah, doesn't help you in a combat situation, I find, if your leg keeps dropping off. Oh dear, it's not going to go back in, I don't think, without destroying the whole thing. Well, that's a thing, isn't it? Well, it's not all military hardware. Look, there's a space shuttle. Pretty sure they don't attach guns to those yet. Or, in fact, seem to have them anymore. Oh, it's a shame, isn't it? Who's going to explore space now and find Transformers on the moon like in the disappointing Michael Bay films? I don't know. NASA just don't think of these things while they have no funding. Anyway, back to this. It looks a bit of a mess, to be honest. Let's try pulling its legs off. That's often a good place to start, I find. Right. I'll have that. I'll have that. I know what this is called. It's really annoying me. Brutus or Bruticus or Bruticicicicus or something like that. Anyway, he's not called anything now. I've pulled his legs off. I think this may well be a tank. Don't ask me how I know. Oh, seriously, don't ask me to transform it. Does that come off? Nope. Ah, I see. There we are. There we are. It is a tank. Shoot, shoot. Bang, bang. Tank. Yes. How on earth does that change into a robot? Something going on here. Yep, we've got found some legs. There's presumably a head or something hiding around here. Oh yeah, here we are, look. And those will become arms in a sort of crap fashion. Again, he's got no face at all. It's just a black hammered mass. That's absolutely terrifying. Does this change into anything or move? No, he has gigantic breasts. That can't be right, surely. Have I done this wrong? Nope, there we are. That's just weird, frankly. In fact, that's the crappiest robot I think I've ever seen. It just looks like a broken tank. Right, what's the other leg? This would appear to be some sort of Jeep or similar thing. Of course, how you actually get it to change into a Jeep is something that appears a bit beyond me. Well, here's the robot, look. And then again, a terrifying non-face. And little arms that don't seem to want to move or do anything. It's the worst robot since the last one. So if we try to put that in there, yeah, part of this must spin round. He's got wheels on the bottom and wheels on the top, and that's not how cars are built. I know these things. Oh look, I've got something going on. Ah, I know. Let's not give a shit and do something else. Space shuttle. Oh. See, this is potentially dangerous. If you're launching a space shuttle, make sure there isn't a giant fist stuck in the engine. There we are. All safe again. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I'm putting off trying to change it into the robot. Right. Oh, here we go. Another non-face freak. Oh, that was easy. As long as... Oh dear. He's got weird flippers for hands. Flipper hands. That's just... This is like a freak show got together and decided to form a bloody Transformers group. Ah, right. Helicopter. That much is apparent. Can't imagine that staying in the air for long. Anyway. How does this work? Those must be the legs. Here's the top. And he's got freakishly long arms. It's a travelling carnival of freaks who have decided to form a small army, change the robots, then form a bigger robot. Always a problem, I find, with carnivals. Right, this presumably comes off and forms a crap glider. His head comes off? Yes, to reveal another freak. What is it about these cheap Transformers and nasty heads with no faces on? There's a horror film in this, I'm sure. Right, do these come off? Yep. Well, they come off and actually go in. This is some sort of larger central vehicle. Again, these should rotate in some manner. Oh no, here we go. Oh look, it is a trailer. Wow, that's really long, and obviously something fits on the back. Maybe that's how they get the space shuttle around. On the grounds it can't really fly anywhere because it would use a shitload of fuel and then go into the atmosphere. Well, he's got his own ramp. Well, that's made my day. well, that didn't really stand up to the quality of the other one we had, did it? Just a bit sort of crap. It does, however, get marks for having a head that doesn't look completely freakish, at least somewhere in the collection. Oh well, that's your lot. I'm afraid I don't have any more. Except, God, they just keep coming. Mini converters, fighters in disguise. They're the cheapest things you've ever seen. 12 to collect. I know it was only £1 for 6, but I didn't want to spend £1 on the others. Really not trying as hard as the Thor packaging on this one, are they? I believe these are mini-cons, as the, how did the advert go? They're not just small, they're transformers, because they were competing with Micro Machines, which were just small toy cars. Unfortunately, they didn't compete with them very well, because the mini-cons were considerably larger. Interesting anecdote. Alright, I may be using the term interesting loosely. When I bought these, the woman on the till in Poundland actually knew what they all were and explained them. She was some sort of Transformers expert. Unfortunately, I bought them about 8 months ago and as a result have completely forgotten what she said. So we'll just have to look at them. These look really crap. Made out of crappy generic plastic, shitty old generic packaging. After the other beauties of today, it's just not good enough, frankly. Look, it's a car. With huge... Excuse me, this car you sold me has a giant hinge in front of the windshield, meaning I can see absolutely nothing. Marvellous. Go on. Oh, great, it's now gone through the windscreen. And that's... Oh, bloody hell. Oh, no, that was probably my mistake, that one. There we are. This is what Transformers would be like if you'd lived all your life in hell. It just looks like something you got free with a toothpaste, doesn't it? Well, at least it's got some facial definition, unlike freaky friends over there. A small tank, very useful for blowing up people who annoy you in some manner. And there we are. It turns into this. They do look like they're made out of sweets or something, don't they? No, I'm not going to eat one. I'm slightly worried by that thing on his head. God, that'd give you a migraine in like 10 seconds flat. Weird something futuristic helicopter gunship without propellers and a gun on top instead. Yeah, you see, that's just too much gun, isn't it? You do need rotors on an aeroplane. I'm sure of that. Does he have a head? Did he ever have a head? That bit's broken off. Here we are, look. Looks like a mermaid, this one, look. They call him Flipper, Flipper, parts of his body break off, you see, and fall in the sea. I just rhymed C with C, I do apologise. Right, more futuristic crap. Weird looking aircraft that doesn't look like anything that's ever existed anywhere. It's got legs. Oh my god, doesn't even have any arms. Oh, these are arms? Oh, that's weird. That's like they cut off bits of a corpse and nailed it to a wall and claimed it was their long lost brother Jonathan. Weird. Right, portable missile launcher. I recognise these. I've played Command and Conquer. Or were they Red Alert, these ones? Oh, I can't remember. There we are. This one has the unique ability of looking like it was carved out of soap. That's just crap. Still, there's some sort of face going on, so at least it isn't as bad as the previous, I suppose. And finally, oh my god, it's a pickup truck that sort of barely transforms at all into another bad robot. Thank you, Minicon. Please go away and never darken our video camera again. Right, that's more than enough of those. Remember, be careful out there. If it looks like a Transformer but costs nothing, then it might be one of these. And if it looks vaguely like a Transformer made out of soap and costs nothing, then it's probably one of those. And if it looks like a cat and goes meow, you're probably in a pet shop.
Hello!
It's time once again to tap the endless source of amusement that is cheapo action figures. And first up, something that may be a bit of a rip-off. It's Little Wizard! Yes, there he is. Something makes me think whoever made this had seen a certain popular series of films and books, and I'm not talking about Lord of the Rings. Let's have a quick look at Little Wizard's packaging. The logo there in a suspiciously Harry Potter-esque font. You've got some sort of robot unicorn attack going on in the top right-hand corner. 0 to 3 sad onions. Interestingly, the Little Wizard thing is actually embossed on the plastic, which is rare for a chibi figure. There he is. We'll have a look at him in a moment with his fantastic accessories. And there's some other crazy crap going on in the background. Something like a broom, some weird green thing that's presumably supposed to be Hogwarts. Dragon thing stuff. Warnings, that's the main thing. And on the back, very, very little other than the European logo. I don't know where this came from. This was donated to me by an vigilant viewer, but I do suspect Poundland or perhaps 99p stores appeared in its background somewhere. Right, come on, little wizard. Show us your magic. Alternatively, fall to pieces, which is more likely. There it goes. Right. Well, the figure itself is surprisingly fairly well made. There's not much articulation going on. He's pretty much dead from the neck down, other than the arms here, which are made of a surprisingly soft rubber, actually. But the rest is quite solid. It's quite nicely sort of sculpted as well. There's quite a bit of detail on that. The only real weakness I can throw at it is that the hands are a different colour to the face, making it look like he just plunged them into boiling water, which is never a good idea. What do we have accessory-wise? A stick! Yep, obviously he can't do any magic yet, so he just goes around smacking things with a stick instead. Either that or it's a giant wand. Or maybe it's a normal-sized wand and he's very small, who knows? And he's also got his broomstick that he can't fly around on because he can't move his legs or his arms properly. There we are, that's one of the higher quality figures I have seen from such things. The actual face-wise, I don't know, the whole ethic has got kind of a weird mix of the main three from Harry Potter, haven't we? We've got sort of semi-Hermione hair going on, which is also Ron's hair colour, and Harry Potter's glasses. And just sort of a face like a startled embryo. Don't really know what's going on there, but yeah, maybe it's some sort of terrifying Gestalt entity made up from Harry, Ron and Hermione after they did a bad spell or something. What shall we call it? Hermioron! That's it. Goodbye, Hermioron. We've got a different figure now. Something more realistic, and not in a good way. It's Fire Rescue, for when you've got some fire that needs to be rescued. Interesting selection of accessories and stuff going on here. Tell you what, let's get this out immediately. Come back to the actual contents in a second. There we go. And have a quick look at the packaging. Emergency Heroes set. Fire Rescue. Some exciting firemen there doing their stuff with their bits and bobs. I think that's a hose, isn't it? The Jaws of Life going on there. Goodness knows what that is. And the number 911 on their hats, perhaps not something you want to be referencing, particularly with that imagery there. Let's move past that. And at the bottom, interestingly, they've got pictures of some sort of proper toy fire set from a different company. Presumably they've ripped off pictures of their toys. Evil and vile. And speaking of evil and vile, here's what the exciting hero emergency fireman bloke actually looks like. See, this I don't think is actually a fireman. This is a maniac. It's just somebody who's put on a balaclava and got himself a small hatchet. If you see him coming, you don't think, blimey, that's a good thing. There must be a fire he's going to put out. You think, I'll run the other way and call the police. He's not even got his balaclava on straight. Right, let's put the sociopath down and see what he comes with. A fire extinguisher, which presumably he stole from a hospital or something. A bloody great sledgehammer that he just found in his garage.